have to come out. I haven't seen you in forever.
I really need to get out of the house.
We can have fun here. This is delightful. We should get one of these above our bed. Look, new neighbors.
Oh.
What do we got?
Is that a fraternity? We have to go over there. We've got to be cool.
And we say, by the way...
Lucas here again for another movie review. Today we are talking about the new comedy Neighbors, starring Seth Rogen, Zac Efron, Rose Byrne, and is directed by Nicholas Stoller. Neighbors is about a couple played by Seth Rogen and Rose Byrne who have a newborn baby, and they move into this house to pretty much adjust into adulthood and raise their child. Meanwhile, next thing they know, a fraternity moves in next door, led by Zac Efron's character, and what starts off as just a meeting and saying, you know, how about you keep it down because we got a newborn baby, tensions escalate, and eventually both start to play cruel tricks on each other, and eventually just gets out of hand. And this is the first Seth Rogen movie to come out since This Is the End, which came out last year, which was by far my favorite comedy of that year. I thought that movie was hilarious. So I was hoping that Neighbors would deliver the laughs that that movie had, especially with a very intriguing and comedic heavy premise like this. The chemistry between Seth Rogen and Rose Byrne in this movie is surprisingly good, especially because they are just so out of each, like Seth Rogen is so out of Rose Byrne's league in this movie that first it's kind of weird to see them like together, but they do have a good chemistry with each other, and they actually do make the whole family aspect believable, which in this movie's case is kind of essential for the whole concept to work. And of course Seth Rogen is obviously the comedic juggernaut of this movie, but what I really liked about this movie is that they actually gave Rose Byrne a chance to branch out and show her comedic chops, because she has a lot of moments in this movie, and she's not the nagging wife or, you know, the wife that's advising against Seth Rogen to not do this, which they actually kind of make a joke about in the movie. So it was really nice to see the movie let her play around with the guys a little bit and have some funny lines on her own. The movie is very smart in the sense that whether you're an adult or a kid that is around the age that this movie portrays the frat to be in, there's a lot of interesting parallels between Seth Rogen is scared because he's growing up and is losing his, you know, fun times in his life and has to move on to being a father. Meanwhile, Zac Efron's character is also mad at Seth Rogen and Rose Byrne because it's reminding him of what he could possibly become in his future. And I thought that the interesting parallels and some of the themes and storylines that they had in here that reflected that made the movie not only smart but also allowed maybe the adults to enjoy the movie as much as someone my age would. But with a movie like this, you're obviously wondering, is it funny? And the movie does deliver for the most part, especially in the third act. That's when this movie really just kind of was firing on all cylinders, in my opinion. But there's a lot of great jokes sprinkled here throughout. It's not as funny or as clever as This Is the End, but I do feel that the film does offer a lot of good setups and a lot of good set-piece jokes, and especially with a premise like this that really lends itself to a lot of funny situations. I think that they do deliver on most of the comedic situations that they present here. That being said, the pacing of the jokes in the movie is somewhat off. Like I said, the movie doesn't really kick into high gear for me until the third act, and I was enjoying it throughout, but for the first 30 to 45 minutes in this movie, it was fairly inconsistent with the jokes. There'd be a lot of dry spells, and then there'll be a couple funny moments, but then again back to a long period without a lot of funny jokes going on. But luckily, the chemistry between Rose Byrne and Seth Rogen is really well done, and also just fun seeing Seth Rogen and Zac Efron kind of duke it out, and the increasing antics was fun to watch. But there is a lot of points in the movie where I wasn't laughing. The film is about 95 minutes, but it does feel long near the end because it's going to wrap up and you know where it's going, but they kind of throw in a few extra scenes in here near the end that were cute, but they did kind of add to the movie's runtime, and I felt like they just made the movie drag on a little bit too long. Well, if you're expecting something as hilarious and creative as this is the end, Neighbors is not really that. It's more of a straight-up comedy, but I do think that it's very enjoyable, and like I said, I think that the movie is smart enough that it can appeal to both older audiences and the demographic that it's kind of going for, and I actually enjoyed it pretty thoroughly throughout, so I'm going to give Neighbors 3.5 stars out of 5. So that's my review of Neighbors. Let me know what you guys thought of it. What is your favorite Seth Rogen comedy that's come out recently? Are you excited to see maybe Rose Byrne kind of branch out in comedy, because she kind of started with Bridesmaids but wasn't given a lot to do there. Let me know what your thoughts on the film were. If you like this review, please subscribe for more, and I'll see you guys later.
I have a darkness inside of me, and you will see it! Dude, we missed the airbag.
What do you got there, sweetie? You got a balloon?
That's not a balloon! Oh, Jesus!
Her mouth is going to be a little bit numb from the lubricant. Other than that, you guys are free to go. Do you guys want the condom to take with you? I don't know if you still want to use it.